If you haven't been here before, welcome to the eBusiness Boss channel. My name's Nick, and today I'm going to be taking you through a very small part of the course we've put together on private label. And we've decided to put together this course to show you how we actually quit our full-time jobs to run an Amazon business full-time. So this video is going to run you through the rules that we follow when it comes to product research. I'm also going to be showing you a product research technique that we use every time we go out there looking for new products to sell. And yeah, if you're new here and you're interested in learning about Amazon FBA, maybe you're in a job that you just don't like, maybe you want to set up your own Amazon business, then consider subscribing to the channel. Turn on the notifications bell, because that way you're going to be the first to know about useful videos just like this. Right, I'm not going to waste any time. Let's get straight into this. So this is a very small section of the product research module, okay? Now, when it comes to choosing a product to sell on Amazon, we actually follow quite a few specific rules. So the first is a rule of thirds. Now, usually we'll only look at products that we can sell for a minimum of $15. And we do this to protect the longevity of our business. So for our business, we like to use a rule of thirds. So usually you can say that a third is going to go into the product manufacturing and freight. A third is going to be taken by Amazon fees. Now, this is going to be category dependent and dependent on the product you sell. And a third should be left for you for profit. Okay. Now, I'll go into more detail on this later, but there's very, very specific rules we follow. Now, with this in mind, a $15 product should return a $5 profit for every unit you sell. Okay, so if you look at it like this, at $5 of profit per unit you sell, if you're selling 1,000 units a month, you're going to make $5,000 a month in profit. And profit is important, okay? Revenue for vanity, profit for sanity. That's what I've always been told. If instead of making $5, your rules were slightly different and maybe you were happy with less than that and you were just going to make $3 profit per unit sold, you would need to sell 1,666 units to make that same $5,000 in profit. So you're needing to sell twice as much. And we all know how competitive Amazon can be. And it's very important, if you want to succeed, that you take all of this into account. So if you're just starting out, you've got a limited amount of capital to invest, I would recommend sticking nearer to the $15 mark. You can, of course, look for more expensive products. The video you'll see at the top of the screen talks about another strategy we use, which involves looking for high ticket items. Now, with these items, usually your profit margin will be much bigger. Don't watch that video now. Watch this video all the way through first, because there's some things you need to understand before you watch that. So let's keep this moving on. So product quality and the product cost rule. Now, as I mentioned previously, we don't want the production and freight costs to surpass a third of the sale price, okay? So a third would be 33%. So at $15, this means we have roughly $5 to spend on production and freight. So spending less than $5 will, of course, mean that we have more profit, but it isn't always the best rule to follow. If your product quality isn't good, then you're going to suffer on the Amazon platform. The customer experience on Amazon is the most important aspect of Amazon's search engine. If your product quality is poor, so say you decide to source a much cheaper product than the competing products that are out there, your bottom line might look better, but your Amazon reviews are going to suffer, you're going to have unhappy customers, and you're just going to fall off the face of the Amazon search engine. So look for a happy medium. Always request samples. Have the supplier actually mock up a final version of your product with your packaging, and then put yourself in your customer's shoes. Would you be happy with that product? Purchase some of your competitors' products and compare them to your final sample and see whether you're really offering something, a better experience for that customer. Is your quality as good as, or if not better, than the competing products out there? So let's talk about some demand rules. So we typically aim to make at least $1,500 a month in profit on any individual product, okay? So based on the third rule I discussed in the previous section, this would mean that we need to find products that are doing at least $4,500 a month in revenue. So how do you find these products? Well, you don't have to worry, because I'm going to run you through a load of different methods we use shortly. So actually, for the purpose of this video, I'm only going to run you through one, But in the full course, which you can find details of in the description, for a limited time you can get a discount on that course. We cover, I think it's about 7 or 8 different methods, and they really are very, very advanced, and we're really, really proud of the course. We're already having loads of happy students that are learning loads. But for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to show you one method. So before you decide to put in an order with any supplier, you're going to need to make sure you fully understand all of the associated costs. Now, the screenshot you can see on your screen, and don't worry, we're going to dive into an example of this shortly, is a yoga mat. And using the Helium-10 Chrome extension, you can predict roughly what your costs are and get a pretty clear picture of what your return on investment might be and what your profit margin might be. Okay, so we'll go into that shortly. But when it comes to associated costs, these are the things you're going to have to take into account. So you're going to have Amazon fees. We sell on Amazon. We can't get away from paying them fees. It's a brilliant platform. We want to pay the fees. The unit price. So actually getting that product created and shipped into Amazon FBA is going to cost you money. And of course, that covers the freight cost. Lastly, you're going to have tax and duty. So this is going to be dependent on where you're based, which marketplace you want to sell in. If you're based in Europe, like us, you're going to have VAT to think about. So let's jump into the next section. And in the course, I do actually dive into this example in a little bit more detail, but I'll give you a bit more detail on this later on in this video. So product selection rules. This is a very important rule to follow, especially if you're just starting out. So we are looking for an area of the market with weak competition. And this might be a bit obvious, but obviously it's worth mentioning because I'm going to show you practically how you can find opportunities that fit this rule. The aim of the game is to find a niche with limited levels of quality competition. So before we jump into any niche, we will take the time to actually analyze the competing products that are out there. So yeah, it's so important because there's so much opportunity on Amazon. You don't need to jump into a niche that is really, really competitive. So don't, look at a product and get very emotionally involved in it and decide that you have to sell it. Look at the numbers, look at the stats, and I'm going to show you how you can do that. So let's talk more about the product review levels, because on Amazon, this is the best indicator of actually whether or not you've got weak, medium, or strong levels of competition. So when we're looking at a potential product, we actually look at the top 3 best-selling competitors, and we pull them all through a very specific spreadsheet that has about 6 or 7 tabs in order to determine whether they'd be a right fit for us. Now, in the course, we actually give you access to that spreadsheet, okay? But you don't need it. You can just watch this video, take a load of free information, and probably find a very good product quite quickly. So, for the average of these top 3 competing listings, we want really the average to be below 200 reviews, okay? There's so much opportunity on Amazon, you don't have to sell in saturated niches. So why do we use this rule? Well, put yourself in the shoes of your customer. Think about your own behavior maybe when you're shopping on Amazon. What do you look for? So we're all looking for the best indication of trust and quality. So let's say you search for a product and you find 2 options. You've got option 1, which has 500 plus 5-star reviews, and you find option 2, which only has 10 5-star reviews. Which one are you naturally drawn to? Which one do you think you're going to trust more? Well, probably the one with more reviews, because there's more social proof. There's more people out there that are using and are rating the product as a good product. So the majority of us will be drawn to pick that. So to give yourself the best chance, we're looking for markets that have a much lower barrier to entry. If you offer a good product with a great level of customer service, it's not going to take you too long to surpass 50 reviews. So you don't have to stick to this 200 review cap. It depends on your appetite for risk. With the right branding angle and product offering, you can compete with products with tens of thousands of reviews. I'll talk about that in another video. It's just going to be more expensive for you. The most important aspect if you're competing with a very, very competitive market is that you find your brand angle and you're serving a very particular segment of that market. So let's look at a few more rules. Now, the rule of manufacturing. Now, if you have limited experience with manufacturing, with importing, maybe just selling on Amazon in general, e-com in general, I'd recommend you find a product that's easy to make. Without the experience, I'd actually avoid selling electronics and products with moving parts because you're leaving yourself open to problems. Not only if you sell electronics are you going to be having to provide and put together a documentation pack to show that that product's safe to sell, you've just got so many other risks that it's just not worth thinking about. And think of it like this: if you really haven't got the experience and you buy 1,000 units of, this phone charger, and you've got no real way of testing it to make sure it's good, well, you're just going to be hurting yourself in the long term if your customers go on to use it and they don't like it. You're going to be wasting your money. So just avoid, high risk products. I'd also avoid products that actually have fragile or delicate parts. So, products that might be glass, for example. If you're buying from the Far East, your products have a long way to travel, and there's a big possibility that in freight they're going to become damaged, and that's going to cost you money. It's going to waste time. So just look for products that are lower risk, okay? That's very, very important. Okay, rules of returns. Now, this is the final rule before I actually just jump into another screen and show you an example of this in practice. So when it comes to the finance side of product sourcing, which Ed here manages and runs for us, we have two very, very important rules. Number one, the product must have an ROI, which means return on investment, of at least 100%. Number two, the product must have a profit margin of at least 30%. So if we sell a product for $10, we need a 30% profit margin, which would be $3. And we do that because then we've got $3 to acquire that customer. Okay, we've got a safety net. If it was a 10% profit margin, well, and we're only making $1 for every sale, well, with Amazon PPC, with driving external traffic, that's all going to be quite expensive, and we're probably not going to end up making very much money, okay? So we do it to protect the longevity of the product and, of course, our business. We want it to stay profitable. When we actually build out private label brands, we like to build cash flow and profit whilst being able to grow our range of products. So that might sound obvious, but that's what we want. We want to be able to grow our range and make profit in the meantime. So let's talk about one of the methods that we can use, okay? Now, this Helium 10 tool is called Blackbox. Now, if you want to get a discount coupon, you can look in the description, and I've got an option there for you to save half off your first month with eBoss 50 or 10% off with eBoss 10, and that's 10% off for life. So if you do use either of those coupons, we will make a commission, so we're always very upfront, but happy to recommend this tool because we use it every day. So in Blackbox, for this example, I've selected products, this tab here. I've selected one category, which is office products. We're looking for products with a monthly revenue between $4,500 and $40,000. Price-wise, we want a minimum of 15, like I spoke about earlier, and a maximum of 18, just to narrow this down. And for the review filters, we've gone between 50 and the 200 ceiling that I spoke about. So I've already done this. You just hit search, have a browse. And I just want to show you a couple of examples. So one of the products I'll show you probably wouldn't meet our criteria. It wouldn't pass this initial test. I can't confirm that because these finds would have to go through our expansive spreadsheet, but it's to give you an idea of how we think when we're actually looking at these products. So the first one I found, if you just scroll down with me, is rubber bands. Okay, so looking at this, it looks quite encouraging. Sales to review ratio of 19.28. That's pretty good. Anything over 5 is usually very, very interesting to us. It's only got 106 reviews. This listing's doing $32,000 a month, and it's over $15 at $15.99. So if we have a look at this product, we can see it looks quite simple. They've got one image, so instantly we can do a better job. I won't go into all of that now. Let's just jump into the two main rules that we're looking at. So this is the Helium 10 Chrome extension. When I go on the profitability calculator, what they've done is actually provided you with some estimates here. So they've said that unit manufacturing cost, they're estimating at $3.20 per unit. We've got a freight cost there. So what they're getting at is they're saying that sold at this price, if these figures here were correct, we would make a margin of 24 to 22%. That hasn't passed our test, okay? The ROI we could expect here would be 89%. So our return on investment would be 89%. Some people would be happy with that. We wouldn't be. And you might look at this product and decide, well, actually, I think I could get it much cheaper than $3.20. So let's have a look. The weight of this listing, the weight of this unit is 2.1 pounds. So I have actually had to double check to see what that equates to in kilograms. So 2.2 is around about 1 kilogram. So a quick look on Alibaba. We've got here, they do, basically you can buy a kilogram for $2.40. So, but that wouldn't include the packaging. It wouldn't include the freight, as we've mentioned. So there's a good chance that this product could be not a winner, okay, based on the rules, and that's how I'd briefly have a look at that, okay. You might be able to put together a product offering that does, suffice these two rules, because you might be able to get it made cheaper. The product quality must be good. You could quite easily beat this listing with a few more images and a better brand. So that would be an example of a product that wouldn't pass our initial test based on those rules. Now, let's go back to Blackbox. I've gone down, and I found this, which is a Bible journaling kit with gel highlighters. So sales to review ratio is 16, very encouraging. It's only got 64 reviews. They're doing just under $20,000 a month, over $15. Looks pretty cool. Let's have a look. So what we've done here is basically we've used the Chrome extension again. Quite an interesting product this is. Look at the keeper graph. What's the story like over the last 30 days? The lower this pink line is, the more sales there are, okay? Because the lower this goes, this is referring to the Amazon bestseller rank, okay? The blue bar is the price level, okay? So to qualify this product against our rules, we've gone back onto the Helium 10 Chrome extension, profitability calculator, and what have we got here? So it's $16.99. They're saying that we should be able to put together this pack for $3.40. I can't say whether that's accurate or not. This is just an example. Freight cost is lower, must be a much lighter item. And with this, they're saying that our profit margin based on this would be over 40%. Our return on investment would be between 181 and 170%. Okay, so this would be a product that we would investigate further. And really, that's how I put these rules into action, okay? So I really hope you found this example useful. If you've got any questions, jump in the comments, let me know, and I'll see if I can help you out. We'd love to be able to help you if we can. If you haven't done already, consider subscribing to the channel. If you haven't, I really think you should. And you should also turn on the notifications bell, because that way you're going to be the first to know about useful videos just like this. Also, if you want to take this a step further and you want to learn exactly how we have quit our 9-to-5 jobs and we worked for ourselves full time, we have done for over 3 years now, sign up to the course. I'll leave a discount link in the description below, and you've got over 8.5 hours of video tutorials, complete over-the-shoulder training just like this, and I show you step by step how you can start your very own Amazon FBA business. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that. There's going to be more useful videos coming from us very, very soon. Thanks for tuning in.